Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV with my co-host, Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
What's up, Jeremy, man? You know, we'll get back to you real quick with the homeboy DJ Gargamel.
Let's go.
What up? What up? What up? What up? How we doing, fam bam?
We doing good, man. We glad to have Jeremy back, man. He's been out there, man. You know, one of the only other cats, my business partner, and Jeremy's probably one of the other cats that I know that really be putting that hustle down, man. He be on it like he wanted.
That's right.
Course, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's inspiring, Jeremy. It's definitely inspiring, man. It just,
yeah,
you know,
we got a lot more work to do though.
I
appreciate it though.
Yeah, you making it happen. So, what was going to be part of the B-roll conversation, I'll give an edited version right now. But Jeremy, the last time that I kind of stepped out before the pandemic jumped off, Gargamel had called me up and said he was in Long Beach, and he's hooked up with these cats that do reggae clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was like a reggae brunch at like a little bar, and they might have, it was like a reggae brunch at a bar.
Yeah.
And I mean, man, for that to be the last time that I was out in the environment, it was cracking,
man.
Yeah, but that was a trip, because like literally it was like the shutdown, like the following week.
Yeah, man, that's my memory. That was my memory. I wasn't there too long. I was probably there a hot 45 minutes, but it was a party, man.
Yeah, but shout out my brother Graney, out there from Jade. That's actually Sire's nephew that was throwing that. And I still look out for him. We're actually going out tonight. He hit me up right before this, and he wants to go check out Q Boy and all that other stuff. So he wants to go check out Poom Poom, and he wants to go to what is that? He wants to go to one of the joints tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, man, just go fill out the city a little bit. I really haven't been out too much, you know what I mean? Just because, things are still funky out there.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you know what I mean? Slow and steady.
Right. Well, I'll say before they got funky, man, I had a very good time and a cool drink, and I might have something to eat. But
we grabbed something to eat. Remember?
Oh, we did. We walked down to my taco spot. We sure
did.
Yeah,
we made a day of it. Remember? We made a day of it.
We kicked it hard. We kicked
it tough that day. You know what I mean?
Man.
And you know what? That was a blessing though. Like something, you know what I mean? Like we kicked it that whole day. And then afterwards, like the damn fucking world shut down. Excuse my language. The world shut down, bro. Yeah, man, that made me really look at things, like in a different way. Cause man, I had so many things like, going and all that, everything just fell apart.
man. Yeah, it's crazy how you take things for granted.
Yeah.
Until you mentioned this to me, I didn't think. I said, man, I had a cool Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Kicked it with the homeboy, man, chopped it up. Talked about business. Homeboy owned all those clubs.
Yeah.
It was almost on, man.
Yeah, because you remember we were chopping it up. We were brainstorming and throwing ideas, around, because we were about to do some things as well.
Yeah.
In regards to some entertainment things or whatnot. And man, just things happen out of our control. Everybody's control, really. Yeah.
I think I was probably so disgusted that everything went the way it went after we probably had that little hangout and we was talking about the whatnots, that I just forgot the whole day, man.
I forgot a lot of things, bro. I forgot a lot of things, but you know what they say, man. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, bro. Everything happens for a reason, and now, like that's why I ain't really necessarily trying to just jump into things, Eddie boy. Man, I'm just trying to move a purpose now. Because we're all a little older now, whatnot. Everything has to have a purpose. Before I would have just been like, yo, let's make it happen, let's make it crack. But now everything has to have a purpose,
Nah, that's dope. So nah, man, I like, once again, man, you my homeboy.
Yeah, we family.
I definitely thought about that Sunday, and that
yeah, that's real.
that just sizzled me out. But away from that, man, what city did you grow up in?
You know, so what, when we grow up out there in the dirt right there, we kind of like grow up in everything right there. But for the most part, I grew up in Watts. I grew up in Watts, but I went to schools out there like in Linwood. I went to like Linwood, Compton, and Watts, Southgate. It's pretty much like the same. All those cities right there are pretty much like the size of like Long Beach. So everybody intermingles with everybody out there. But I grew up in Watts right there, pretty much like 2 houses down from the Jordan Downs. And I grew up on a street called Kalmaya right there. My family pretty much migrated out there like in 1920 and whatnot. And yeah, so like I'm probably like third, fourth generation in Watts. And so by the time I got out there, I'm pretty much by the time that I was born or whatnot, I was acting a fool because I had the keys to the city in a sense, you know what I mean? And I was able to see just the evolution of things because, when I was a kid, I got to see the big block letters of graffiti of gang writing and things like that. Mm-hmm. And then my uncle's generation and all them, like they got to see like the bands coming up and stuff like that, like War was coming up out of Compton and all that stuff like that. You had what's Easy's uncle's band out of Watts, right? Charles Wright, 103rd band, right there, things like that. But then like in the late 70s, early 80s, you had the DJs coming up and stuff like that. And that's the stuff that kind of like inspired me, and it wasn't even about the money or anything like that, but it was just like the those were the local those were the local hood stars right there at that time. Those were local hood celebrities. And I always tell people, like, I didn't grow up around no like, lawyers or doctors or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I grew up around dope dealers, gangsters, pips, so like, I mean? So like, when I started to see people like, like Aladdin, Julio G, all those types of people like that, those are the people that made me say like, yo, I want to be like those dudes right there and shit, you know what I mean? And when Aladdin took me under his wing right there, it was really some education because he spoke to me in a language that I could understand, because my family, they taught me all like the streets in regards to like, what's a good way to say it? Like the gang shit, the gang world, but Aladdin taught me like the hustle, and how to survive. And everybody's still there?
Oh yeah, I think Jeremy's camera just got a little technical. He'll be back with us.
Yeah, but Aladdin taught me everything in regards to the hustle, the street game or whatnot, because he came up under people like Ice and
Ice-T.
Yeah, Ice, but also his uncle. They had his uncle used to promote, and they used to promote people like Easy. They used to promote Easy, and when used to come to when Def Jam used to come, when Run DMC, his uncle used to promote all that. So his uncle used to look out and give him game and all that. They used to have a sweatshop and stuff, a clothing shop and his uncle was the one that used to, give him game on all that. So, but that's pretty much my lineage like that. But with Aladdin, we were on the street first before we were really like doing all the
quick,
DJ shit.
Real quick, Gargamel.
Yeah.
So I was gonna get into Aladdin a little later, but we're gonna touch on it now. So just to let people know, he's talking about DJ Aladdin from Low Profile. He the song Paid Dues. WC was in the Mad Circle, right?
Yeah, he was in the Mad Circle. Yeah, he was Low Profile.
Yeah.
They had their group Low Profile with Coolio was in Low Profile too. Yeah.
And I did not know that. That's a good one. And Jeremy, something that you could appreciate. So DJ Aladdin won the did he win the DMC or he just was?
Nah, he kind of got cheated on that.
Yeah,
that
he got cheated.
88, 89.
But he basically went to New York, and I don't know if this is exactly what he was wearing, but the vibe he had makes my memory think this is what he was wearing. I think he had a curl. If he didn't have a curl, he brought that curl. Yeah, he brought that curl energy. Jerry curl that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he was a straight gangster. I mean,
a hip hop gangster. Yeah.
LA 80s hip hop gangster. But he's ridiculous on the turntable.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculous. Yeah. And he went out there and you would not expect somebody that looked like that to really be like, setting it up.
and throwing up the set. And throwing up Compton while he's battling in London and all that. You know what I mean? And but that's what people don't realize is like how real it was back then. And I mean, me myself, I wasn't there during that time. I started messing with Aladdin when I was probably about 94 or whatnot.
Okay.
But I was still a little younger, like, because Aladdin's like 10 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Aladdin's like 10. So when he took me under his wing, like, we were I was running at a young age with him, so you figure at 89, Aladdin probably was like 17, 18 doing that, so Aladdin started at a young age. So what they say, Aladdin did it all at the age of 16, in the Low Profile song.
Yeah.
So they were going out to New York at a young age, and he would say that a bunch of hustlers they would fly him out there, so that's the school that we come from.
Real quick, what's it? MC Ruru, or I think that's what his name. He said, DJ Gargamel is my mentor. He's really full of positive, non-judgmental emotions. He definitely wants to answer when it's late or early in the morning. I can't offer him anything. He's so talented. So I want to take this moment just to say thank you to my boy.
Who was that?
McCrew. I'm probably saying it wrong.
It's all good.
He got trolls. Gargamel got trolls.
Yeah, I got trolls.
You think you so? No, I think dude was saying he said I appreciate you and your music's amazing.
Okay, word. That's what's Tom. I said much love.
He said, "Hey, much love." But also, I wanted to ask you. How did you feel the first time you heard Run DMC?
I lived in out there in Watts, where I lived at during that time. Everybody, the houses that we lived in family homes, so when I say we live in family homes, like we lived probably like 10 deep in a house. So basically it was kind of like generational. So like I was the oldest of one of the nephews, and so one of the youngest of my grandmother's kids was like my older brother. So he kind of like was more like it too, because he went to the Marines, and he was like a class of like 89. So he was bumping like Tribe Called Quest and things like that. But my uncle before him, he was class of I think 85. So he was the one who was playing Run DMC and all that. He actually went to school with Drac. He's the one who broke the he's the one who broke the Olympic what you call it from Jordan High School, the Olympic record at Jordan High School. You guys should try to interview him. He came out of Watts. But hearing Run DMC at that time, that reminds me of like people wearing like the curl. I remember people like riding bikes without no tires, scraping the wheels like that during that time, like that era. Like Suzuki's, Monte Carlos, like that
Suzuki
era.
Jeep. You had a girl with a little Suzuki, man. You thought you were doing something.
You know what I mean? Wearing the bags over their heads during that time, to keep the perfect shower caps during that time. You know what I mean? That's what I think of like during like Run DMC. I mean, during that time, because I was, I literally was living in Watts. You seen like a lot of like raids going on because like that's when crack was first hitting. So yeah, you seen all types of crazy stuff hitting. Like, I remember like hearing about people like selling like drywall for crack, all types of crazy stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was all types of madness happening. Yeah, but that's what I remember. Like, for Run DMC, and it was just like, it was just that was a new sound. That was a new sound, and yeah, I remember Run DMC coming in because it was being played in the house. It was being played in the house. That was that era, and I remember my uncle that I was talking about. I remember he had got a Jeep Wrangler. And he would take me to school in that thing. We'd be bumping Eric B and Rakim and everything. That's my Uncle Herman.
Hey,
you might as well have a Bentley, man. Back then,
that's what I'm saying, bro. I thought I was the man. You know what I mean? We'd go to school like at 6, 7 in the morning because he had to go to work, and he'd be over there playing that Play at Your Own Risk and all that stuff. I'd be all cold in that thing because he didn't have the top or anything.
Yeah, the cost for the floss, man.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So who was Aladdin the first person, or who was the first person to inspire you to DJ?
I think it was just like it was everything that was happening in the area. It was everything because I mean I literally I was with my grandma when they were filming Colors on the next block on Carocious. That's the scene when homeboy's selling dope right there. So I mean it's just the whole energy going on at that time. That's when like K-Days it's kind of like what you're talking about with Run DMC. You have LA Dream Team out there from Watts. Everything is happening in that area, and during that time you have a lot of people. I mean, Compton is literally the next, the next city, and you have Dre, Easy, and all those guys, basically changing the world. When you think about it, they're changing the world with in 80 and 88, 89 with NWA as we see it, with gangster rap, so and yeah, I think that energy right there made me want to do it. And when I was able to connect with Aladdin and he took me under his wing, we were able to not that we were able to it was more of a street thing because Aladdin came up under, like I was saying, Aladdin came up on the ice, but they were on that, running under like the street thing. Like they were doing the music, but they were also getting their money. And I always credit Aladdin. I mean, he was with me last night, but I always credit Aladdin to my survival in this game. Giving me the rules and the regulations, and just being like, if it, purse first, ass last. Don't necessarily like, be chasing these women. Get your money and be out. Like, and don't be sticking around. Don't be sticking around forever. Just get in and get out. And just be about your money and shit like that. So, and so there was a lot of principles because I look at someone like Aladdin and he was producing platinum records when he was 18, 19 years old. He was producing New Jack Hustler and Original Gangster. And you think about how many records New Jack City sold, etc. So
well, you could tell him this, man. The one where he had a couple to drink and DJ Qbert was there, and I
was there too. I
would say I probably watched it over 50 times, man.
Well, let me say this. The game had changed during that time in regards to DJing. Mm-hmm. The game had changed in regards to DJing. A lot of those DJs had lost that street element.
Oh, he brought it all there.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't used to that street element anymore. You know,
before it was popular, Jeremy. Yeah, he threw up cuz several times. You know what I'm saying?
No affiliation.
And I want to say he said that he had just got out of county maybe a couple of days before or something like that.
He had did a stretch, but I'm not going to put all his business out there, but he had did a stretch for handling his business.
But the twist is, even though he went through all that, he was at the event, and you could tell that he hadn't practiced in a while, but even like if somebody can, he was just
That's funny.
Well, this is what I'll say during that time. Before that, what a lot of people don't realize is that Aladdin was on the turf. He was out there pimping. Like, and he'll say stack of dollars, because before that, he had a group with Tweed Cadillac and my boy Urge called the Macadelics. So yeah, man. YouTube the Macadelics. And I think truly I was working at that label during that time that put out the Macadelics. And the Macadelics. So, Aladdin really wasn't too much tripping on the DJ stuff. He was,
in his
Aladdin's
thing.
always been, he was doing his thing. He was on Sunset Boulevard. Hanging out with the pimps right there.
Hey,
that's
the first thing that popped up too.
I will cast no stones at life, man. Life's a cold thing. But on to the next one with all the stuff that's kind of jumped off with the whole. Not to make this this is not like a COVID interview or nothing like that.
Oh no.
But one of the things that I was able to witness a lot of DJs prosper, they were able to prosper during the whole COVID thing is through Twitch. Can you kind of explain, from you being a DJ and seeing what guys are doing with Twitch and everything? Because I know people that play video games, you know what I'm saying? I know some people that they don't make a whole bunch of money, but I know some cats that's, they live in,
Yeah, but okay, think about it like this. What are we doing right now?
On Zoom?
We on Zoom, bro.
Yeah.
We're on Zoom. We're having an interview, and we are interviewing each other online. Back in the days, even 5-10 years ago, like we would have had to go. It would have, at best, it would have been a phone interview, and that would have been like, oh man, you're gonna call in, really?
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, we're living in a different time. You know, the money is online, and you have a wider reach. You have a worldwide reach. Some of these DJs are reaching people that, you know, they never had a chance to reach before. Twitch, I believe, is owned by Amazon, and yeah,
I know.
and you figure if you're a DJ, right? Why would you haggle with the promoter for $100 when you could, you know, go live and, you know, from your crib or wherever it is, your garage, however, whatever, and make your own loot there. There's DJs making 30 racks, 100 racks. I mean, I see Twitch got hacked last week and it showed all the payouts. I seen 2 or 3 people that I personally know that I'm acquainted with that are making 200 racks, you know,
wow.
off of, and, you know, I used to book these people. Now I'm pretty sure like they ain't gonna take that booking rate no more. You know what I mean?
Price went up.
The price done went up in my Fat Joe voice.
Yeah, yesterday's price is not
today's price, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I would encourage anybody that's doing anything that's independent, you know, to do it online. I mean, if you're selling a product, you know, go to, you know, direct to consumer. If you're DJing, you know, you don't necessarily need a club anymore. You know, just make your own club at the crib. Just go, you know, create your own community, create your own audience, and create your own following. You know, and you can get paid off of that. I mean, there's people that are making channels off of YouTube just with the podcast, and they're getting paid $1,500 a month. You know, etc. And I mean, think about it like this: 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, that was unheard of. That was unheard of. So, yeah, just going back to the DJ thing, people getting paid. I think this is just the beginning. I think this is just the beginning of the future. You know, I mean, think about it like this, man. There's girls out there getting paid for the OnlyFans and stuff like that. Like they don't even want to mess with dudes anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you right about that.
You know what I mean? Because they out there, you know, they out there caking. So
you're right. He's absolutely right.
You know, and it's interesting because, you know, with the whole, you know, the clubs not being around and people able to go direct to consumer, I'll say for a fact, in my experience, the single person that I saw come up off of direct to consumer, I say they deserve an award. They probably did get an award though.
No, I mean,
D-Nice, man. D-Nice did.
Oh, yeah.
You knew who he was.
Yeah.
But when the whole COVID thing jumped off, dude, he came right on time. It was like the perfect storm, man. People were shut in. They were just depressed. They didn't know if the world.
Yeah.
Well, you know what he exposed the most of was that they looked at the internet as a young person's game. You know what I'm saying? But what they try not to acknowledge, and he exposed it, was that majority of the people on the internet are your 40s and 50-year-olds who knew this music. And now that's why Versus is able to make so much money. It is. It's like, these people, there's more of these people than our kids on the internet. They don't want to admit it, but these are the people. These are the consumers. These are the people on. Man, I talked to the dude the other day. I was like, you know, he's like, hey, I want to follow you. Whatever. Like, oh, you on Instagram? He goes, no. Are you on Twitch? This dude's 50 years old. Not Twitch. Not Twitch. Sorry, TikTok. He said, are you on TikTok? Like, yo. So, you know, I like that he exposed that, and now that's like a whole new market of people who are ready to spend money, because these kids don't spend money online. It's the adults.
Yeah, exactly. That
the adults giving them money.
The adults are the ones with the 401k. You know,
they spend money on. They the ones that don't know how to use stuff and click on ads and pop-ups and get viruses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is with the ads.
But so question, was it house, dance, music, or hip hop?
Everything, brother. Everything. When I first started DJ, I've always loved all, when I started off as a DJ, I started off as a mobile DJ. So, we played everything. I don't think you necessarily had a choice to play one sort of music back in the day, especially as a mobile DJ. There wasn't, or are you just a hip hop DJ? Are you just a freestyle DJ? Are you just a house DJ? Like, I don't even think that was necessarily even a term yet. Like I think that was just kind of like, are you a Latin DJ? Are you that type of thing? But yeah, no, I play everything. Besides country.
A different question. Tacked onto that. Where do you believe house music started? I heard it was a debate on that. I didn't know about that.
Chicago.
Chicago. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah, shout out all my folks out there, Chicago, right there. Terry Hunter, Wayne Williams, Ron Trent, all of them.
Wow. So, we sticking with the interview, but when I have my folks, my homies on, I gotta bring up a couple of we ain't gonna tell stories all night, but this is a good one. Like, so Gargamel is the cat that would hit me and be like, Greg, I know you don't come out, but Diplo's coming through tonight, man. You might want to be here. You might want to see this. I know you don't want to come out, man. I got you. Just woo. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm still probably not gonna be there, but whatever. Yeah. But he's that cat. Like he's linked up with some cats. And it's crazy because it's like the clubs that you would be involved in, like if mainstream people really knew the guests that you guys would have coming through and all that kind of stuff, I mean, maybe that would blow up the spot and then make it not an exclusive type thing. But man, he'd have some cracking parties. So how did you, because definitely we all know Diplo don't have to come and spin a record for nobody or do nothing like that. So how did you guys end up getting cool with him to the level of where like he would come out and like be part of your parties and all that kind of stuff?
I gotta credit Sire. Sire's one, just kind of like I was saying, like Aladdin. Sire took me under his wing, and Sire had Los Globals, and Sire had asked me if I would basically be his protege, and at first I was a little hesitant or whatnot, so I took over the house brands and the Latin brands and everything else that needed to be taken care of at that time, or he needed assistance with at Los Globals at that time. This is all before the shutdown. And Sire's originally from Jamaica, but then he went to Chicago. So he was there for the pretty much like the birth of house music. He was working with Frankie Knuckles, Wayne Williams, who was another one of my partners. And Wayne, of course, everybody knows who Wayne discovered R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm. So it's his fault. Lock him up too.
The way that's my boy right there and stuff. But just going back to Sire. So our plan was to curate, and when I mean curate, was to basically to create a club that wasn't just going to be say a flash in the pan. It was going to become it was going to have content, and not only content, it was going to have substance. So every brand had to have some sort of substance. It wasn't just we weren't just gonna bring people in who didn't have any substance behind the brand. So if we're gonna bring if we're gonna have a reggae brand in, and or just a reggae night, these people had to have a background in reggae. If we're gonna have a house night, these people had to have say a background in house music, and this is what created that momentum and whatnot, and that's what brought these other say people within these cultures that wanted to be at the club.
Okay.
You know, and so that's how all these other people just started to hang out and chill, because they were like, yo, this is the place to be, you know. Because you think about it, if there's just a bunch of like, you know, like pop-up clubs, and it's just people that ain't supposed to be doing things, like, yo, man, what's this guy doing this for? Like, you know, he ain't never did this before, you know. But if you have if this is like the spot, and say like the Far Side is doing a night there, and then the next thing you know, like the Marleys are doing a night there, you're like, yo, bro, like everybody is at this joint, we gotta be there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is, if we ain't there, then yo, like you know what I mean, we ain't doing it. So we kind of made it, we kind of that's what our purpose was. So that's how we were getting people like Diplo and whatnot, and basically, you know, mending massaging relationships. And it was basically, you know, relationships. Your network is your net worth, you know. So yeah, man. So yeah, so, and Sire was good at that, and that's what he taught me, is just, you know, making sure that you massage those relationships, and just keep it real with people, you know, keep it real with people. And
that's dope. Yeah, because I you know, because I was like, man, I'm not in you guys' pockets, but I was like, the kind of club it was, Diplo would really have to think you guys were dope and just want to come down and be like, yo, man, like, this is where I'm coming. You know, it ain't about it, no price tag on it, no nothing. I don't come out the house. I don't spin records. I don't do parties. None of that. But I'm coming to go and, you know, play with you guys without. Sire was making a lot of that happen right there. You know, he was bringing in the right people on that note, and you know, and anything that he needed, you know, I had his back. You know what I mean? And I was learning the game from him. You know what I mean? So if he was the Clive Davis and I was the Puffy, in a sense, you know what I mean? So you know, but yeah, man, everything changes though. You know?
Do you feel like do you believe DJ MC collabs are essential to hip hop? Like, it's like, it's more like a lost art.
Yeah, but I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is that you know, when we're talking about Aladdin, you couldn't even battle back in the day if you didn't have a group. So when he was going to the New Music Seminar, if you didn't have a group, you couldn't battle. So that's why he went to the New Music Seminar with Dub C, and they battled. And like people like Cash Money, he had what was it? Cash Money and what was his MC? But it was like Fresco and Miz and all those guys. So if you didn't have a group, you couldn't battle. You couldn't battle in the New Music Seminar. So you had to have Marvelous and Cash Money. That was Ugly People Be Quiet. Yeah. So like, so I mean, if you didn't have an MC, but there's so many factors that are lost now, you know. And what a lot of people like, you know, kind of like how we're saying, like the game had changed with the ladder. A lot of people don't even realize, like, man, Philly back there, Philly has some cold DJs, but they were gangster though too. Cause like a lot of people, like a ladder would tell me these stories, like, man, them Philly, man, them Hilltop Hustlers and stuff like that, they were robbing banks and everything, steady being them dudes and stuff. Cause he was battling those guys and stuff. He was battling Miz, he was battling Cash Money and stuff like that. But I think I think it was Steady B that ended up
Yeah,
getting,
bank robbery.
yeah, getting like what was it, like
He's still
a
there,
death sentence.
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
he's still there.
that's
Uh,
what
we got another question from the comments. It said, what do you think the crossroads are from being a DJ to a full-fledged music producer?
say that again.
What do you think the crossroads are for from being a DJ to a full-fledged music producer?
I think there's two different crossroads.
Okay.
You could be like Dr. Dre, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre was a DJ before he was a producer.
Right.
So when you're a DJ, you understand what the people want. When you're I think it's an easier transition to being a music producer. So you don't necessarily have to understand what notes are or anything like that. Your ears understand it and your mind understands it. But when you're a producer and you're trying to be a DJ, you understand the notes and things like that, but you might not understand what crowd control is. So sometimes that transition's a little more difficult, to be a producer going into a DJ. So I think being a DJ that transition is easier going into a producer, if that makes sense. So like say like Pete Rock and Marley Marl, they were DJs before they were producers. Muggs, he was a DJ before he was a producer. Aladdin, he was a DJ before he was a producer. Who else was a DJ before they were a producer? I mean, Kenny Dope, Little Louie, they were DJs before they were producers. So tons and tons of people. But if you're a producer, I'm not going to say that you can't be a DJ, but I'm just saying that you have to understand what the people, how to control the people, So because when you're DJing for the people, you have to DJ for the people, not for yourself. So
what DJ collectives are you a part of right now?
DJ collectives, man, Overgold. I mean, there's a lot of things that are just loose and stuff like that. Overgold is an umbrella company of everything that I have. I mean, I work with a lot of different people.
Me,
yeah,
me.
great. Yeah.
Hey man.
Yeah.
I get it.
No, so like Aladdin and we've had something called Aladdin's part of Overgold, but him and we've had a production for 20 plus years called IOP, Institute of Production. Wayne Williams and we have a house production called O, and then we have a party called Love Sessions. We have my boy Gutter and some of the partners under Overgo. We have a slipmat company called Chromatic. But as far as DJ, man, I have a bunch. Man, I've been DJing so long. There's things that I was part of back in the day that some people stopped DJing. I've been DJing 30 years, bro. So what's now might not be anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, we're living in a different time.
What do you feel like the perfect versus battle would be?
Oh man, the perfect versus. The sun versus the moon. Yeah,
Sun got that all day. That's nuts.
Yeah. No, the perfect verses, man. I can't. There's so many different genres. There's so many different eras. That one's kind of hard to call. Like,
what about a DJ one?
DJ?
Yeah.
Man, there's so many different eras. Like, one of my favorite battles. They had the Invisible Scratch Pickles versus the X-Men. You know, when they both were at their heights. But you know, that can't happen anymore because Rock Raider isn't here. You know, but yeah, I think that was like in 95, 96. That one was hefty. I mean, if you could get all those guys again, but that can't happen anymore.
I put Premier against anybody.
Premier had a versus already though, right?
Did he? That's probably early.
Yeah, he was like one of the first ones.
Had one early ones. I put him against anybody though.
Any
DJ, any producer, I put Premier.
Yeah, I believe Premier had a who did he go against? I'm pretty sure.
T-Rock?
I think so. I'm pretty sure Premier. I remember seeing that.
Yeah,
did he go up against RZA?
Oh, that'd be actually. I think it was RZA.
Yeah.
What do you think of this KRS-One versus Big Daddy Kane?
Oh man, I've been talking about that. You know what I mean? That's BDP versus Cold Chillin' right there.
Mm-hmm.
I take Black Thought's favorite rapper in delivery over content. You know what I mean?
A lot of people don't realize. A lot of people got.
KRS-One is going to give you a bunch of content. That's what he's going to give you, and he, you know, he kicks some knowledge.
Yeah,
but I take
Kane.
Yeah, he's my favorite MC, man.
Yeah,
I think Kane.
A lot of people don't realize that, like even like Bone Thugs and Harmony, they got their style from Big Daddy Kane.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they got their style from Big Daddy Kane, but a
lot of people did.
Yeah, like Big Daddy Kane, like he's responsible for even people like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, yeah, man. I mean, those are two different. I mean, he was out there with Madonna and things like that. So I mean, I seen Kane. Kane was at the club. Kane was at the club a little before everything shut down. You know what I mean? Like, and then where else did I see him? I think I seen him at a Delicious Vinyl at that street thing that they had. But yeah, man, yeah, the Wrath of the Kane. But at the same time, though, man, KRS, bro, KRS got them bangers right there. Duck Down. Yeah.
Your all-time favorite gig?
My all-time favorite gig? It's probably going to be one of my first gigs. When I was a kid, I used to DJ at my junior high dances called Teen Town. You know, so I used to DJ at the Southgate junior high dances called Teen Town, and they were at Southgate Park at the pool right there. So just DJing with, you know, because you're still fresh and DJing to all the school, all your peers and stuff like that. You're still innocent to it, man, and just that feeling. You know, I mean, that was one of my favorite. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite gigs ever. Like, I still got people writing in my yearbook, like, "Oh man, you were whack DJ and stuff like that." Oh, you messed up. You know, yeah. But those, I think those are my most memorable and favorite gigs, because I remember like playing like my first record and all the kids running in when they opened up the doors, stuff like that, like. Yeah, man. Yeah, like, and just getting a chance to get on, you know what I mean? Being like 12 years old at that time and playing some records and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, man, I think those are my favorite gigs, you know. And I played. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, you got let's see, I can't even say this name. Oh, Easy Uno from Inglewood wants to know, what are your top three mixers of all time and why?
Oh, shout out Easy. Shout out Emenaito. Hey man, they got a dope club, bro. They're gonna be playing with me at Velorio at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena on the 6th. That's gonna be a dope party. Man, I got a lot of love for those guys right there. My top three mixers.
Also, real quick, the person from earlier, they said you know them by Live Ben Wapo.
Who?
Live Ben Wapo. You know?
They trolling it, man. They
He says no troll.
You a comedian, Jeremy. You supposed to be knowing this, man.
What did he say? What does that mean? Does that mean something?
Nah, I think so. I'm
All
I don't know.
right. Wait. Go ahead.
My top three mixers. Of course, the 05 Pro. Man, I remember when I first got my hands on my first 05 Pro. Oh man, yo, that was like having like a Mustang back in the day, like driving like with a Mustang to school and shit, like a 5.0, like driving to school. I remember when I first got that. Oh man, yo, when I first got my 05 Pro, my Vestex 05 Pro, I think I was like 15. Yeah, and those things were, man, because I mean, anybody who was DJing at that era knows how hard those things were to just get. So I think the 05 Pro, my second during that time was the 07, which was a Vestex. And I'll say, I kind of like that S9 right now. I like the S9, but they got all types of stuff. But I think those three are my favorite. But I mean, I like the Yuri as well. I like the Yuri, but that's a rotary mixer, But yeah.
I got a question for you. When I used to DJ for my very brief spell, of doing clubs and whatnot, one of my biggest nightmares was walking up on a mixer that I had never messed with, and it didn't have a crossfader, and it just had this like.
That's the Yuri.
Oh
yeah.
man. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, have you ever spun and you walked up to a mixer and was really like, man, how is this gonna work out? Or just keep it basic, up, down,
Man, I've DJ'd on the jankiest of equipment. And I mean, because you think about it, just growing up in the hood, like we used to, what a lot of people need to realize is like, man, DJ equipment is expensive. So none of us really had DJ equipment back in the days, especially as a kid. So like, when I first got into DJ, I just used to tell people that I was a DJ. I wasn't really a DJ. Especially when I was 11, 12 years old. I just had a backpack with records, and you just used to show up, with records to
it till you made it.
I would like show up to ditching parties like, yo, let me get on, just buying records like that, So that's like me staying like, going DJing at Teen Town. I met the homeboy and he was an older dude who actually had got the gig. I met him at the record store because back in the day we all used to DJ at we all used to kick it at record stores. Everybody used to that was a place to hang out at, record stores. So he said that he had got the gig, and I was like, yo, I go to that school. and he let me get on and stuff. So he let me get on both the gigs. But going back to the equipment, man. I mean, still to this day, I'll jump on equipment and I'll be like, oh man, this is gonna be I got a MacGyver. Yeah, I got to MacGyver this. I got to MacGyver this situation, because especially when you go into clubs or whatnot, man, people beat equipment up, so you'd be like, oh man, this channel isn't working, this right deck isn't working, this ain't working, this turntable ain't working, this is messed up. And don't mess around and have like a not a sound man or blown out speakers or something, so yeah.
What are your top 3 albums?
Oh man,
I know
that's a tough one. I mean, I'll just throw some albums that I've always loved. I love the New Eureka Soul album.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?
Okay.
Oh no, I'm gonna take that one back. Here, My Dear. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one where he's in the courthouse, right?
I'm not
Hereby
sure.
did. Yeah, hereby did.
But
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
I want to say
He's a statue for
he
his
wrote that
wife
album. He wrote that
when he's
album to pay
divorced.
alimony. Yeah,
Yeah, for
alimony.
his divorce.
Like,
Yeah, hereby. Yeah, that's
he
a
put his
cold ass
soul. He
album.
put his soul.
Yeah, man, that's a cold ass album right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hector Lavoe's El Cantante. That's a cold. Hey, they have a movie on that on that dude right there. That's man.
I saw it, man. He
Yeah.
was
Heroin addict.
I'm gonna tell you something. A dude who hung out with a lot of gangsters put me onto that movie, and he would have been the last person that I would have thought would have pointed out a movie like that. But I think the guy's lifestyle was just so hardcore, being a star, and him just being, and he wasn't a rock star. Nah. He was a celebrity, but he wasn't a rock star. But for him to be a celebrity living like that, my boy was like, "Oh man, you got it. He's a gangster, man." Yeah.
I mean, but you think about it too, like that. Like you think about it like this. Like even somebody like Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he was around.
Yeah, man. I mean, we get to the top and then we fall the gray set sometimes. And I mean, yeah, man. This game can be rough. This game can be rough, my brother. So that's me and the ladder. We used to go by his parents' house, Marvin Gaye's crib, all the time. I believe it's right. Was it a Main Street? No, it's not on Main Street. It was over there by the freeway. But ladder used to be like, that's where his parents used to be. That's where Marvin Gaye got killed at and shit. But yeah. But yeah, those are my 3 albums for the day.
Nah, you can go. Well, so I said I didn't want to turn this into like the pandemic show, but I got
it's all good. We're in it.
We've already. What do you miss most about post-pandemic time?
Post-pandemic time?
Mm-hmm.
I miss I'm not gonna say people what's a good way to say it? Like I miss people just being cool. Like I mean, I had to get away because people were it just felt so toxic out here. Like it still feels toxic out here.
I think something that's not addressed, and this is just get super deep or just whatever.
Yeah.
People are angry, man.
Yeah.
They're angry. They've been angry since
stuff
has been taken away from them and all this, that, and the other. And it's kind of like it almost seems like we went from the divisiveness of Trump and like all that stuff to the COVID, and like people are arguing. People are arguing about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's what I miss the most, though, man. Just like people being at peace, someone at peace. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think. Yeah, man, that's what I miss the most, man.
Yeah. What do you think of Dave Chappelle's new special?
I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it, to be real with you. But I mean, I've been Dave, like, I mean, I'm a fan of Dave's. I'm a fan of Dave's. Yeah.
That's politically correct.
I mean, hey, man. We live in a world where everybody has, everybody should have an opinion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Everybody should have an opinion. Like the world is bigger than us.
Right.
You know what I mean? The world is bigger than us, and it's like, and if we feel that the world revolves around one person, then I mean, hey, we should travel a little more, and get a dose of reality. You know, so that I think that's the problem. So yeah, no, I mean, I side with whatever Dave's. I've been seeing what's happening with Dave, but I side with him. You know what I mean?
What do you? Oh, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you think about a lot of people wanted to get I don't know, some organization, some black organization, but I've never heard of it. I think it was like Black Coalition, something that wasn't the NAACP. They wanted to remove Dave Chappelle's special from Netflix, so they were advocating for it pretty hard, but they lost. You know, the Netflix president said that, you know, he was defending the right of free speech and saying that you're going to have content to offend people. But I'm saying, like, do you feel like that's like the proper route to go as far as entertainment, or is there things that we shouldn't have removed if enough people complain about it?
I mean, you know, not everybody's going to like you. You know, sometimes your own people ain't going to like you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, you know, when you've been in a certain situation, you know, long enough, and I for the most part, I believe, you know, I don't know Dave's business, but it sounds like he's independent. And when I mean independent in regards to his business, so it seems like if Netflix were to annul his contract or whatnot, I'm pretty sure somebody else would pick him up. So like, I don't think he's necessarily tripping, you know. Yeah. So he'd be like, all right, cool. If you want to, you know, they would have to buy his contract out. I'm pretty sure, you know, if they would take.
I got something crazier than that, dude.
What's it?
There's boards of people that make what you and I probably make a year, a month. Yeah. And they knew all this was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I would say Netflix was anticipating this happen. They were anticipating this happening because it was going to actually drive their subscriptions up.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, like, dude, everybody's talking about Netflix. Where before this happened, man, I was saying, you know, man, do I want to cancel it? Like, just, I mean, I don't watch it that much. And not even about it just costing $13 or $14 or whatever. But I know it used to be $9, you know what I'm saying, or something like that.
Yeah.
But think about it like this. You know, think about how much publicity it gave to that special. You know, like, so think about how many people went to actually go see that special now. Because I mean, there's this girl, her name is Jenny 69, right? And she's in the Latin community. 2 weeks ago, I ain't never heard of the girl, bro. And she made this song called Jenny 69 from Riverside, bro. And everybody's hating on her, bro. Everybody's hating on her. But she got like 2 million followers now and everything. And she's like the meme queen. Everybody's, you know, but I can't hate on her. So I think it's a kind of like going back to what we're saying, we're living in a digital world now where everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, and it's even if it's hate or whatever, that is, as long as it's inflating your stock, it's all good.
Was it Jenny from Riverside? Jenny 69 from Riverside?
Jenny 69 from Riverside. Okay. Yeah, that girl. Oh my God, that girl. She's a meme, bro. She's a meme.
Well, not to. I haven't seen her, but not to be the super conspiracy theorist. But I believe that, man, a lot of times there's people that position this kind of stuff to just take off. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a mastermind behind something where it might not be dope, but it's something. You know what I'm saying?
Everything happens for a reason, and especially all this stuff right here, it's all architected, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I tell everybody, like, especially in a situation like this, like in this current state, that all these people here are running laps around us. So like the country and all that, they're like 10 steps ahead of us. So everything that you just said, it all makes sense. You know what I mean? So everything happens for a reason. Everything is architected. You know what I mean? Otherwise, there'd be more mayhem than what it is now. You know,
I'm gonna get into the last question, but right before I say that, you know, talking about Twitch and all that, once more corporate money gets into that and those type of platforms, I think like that's going to be the wave. It's kind of like how in the early 2000s, how when Scion came out, they pumped a lot of money into like sub hip hop culture, like party, like dude, they were throwing parties, they were sending people money, they were hiring whoever was the head promoter in whatever city, they were linking up with them and giving them huge budgets for them to spend money.
I remember,
and do all that, and like, man, Scion is a reputable car. Like we look at Scion like it's a real, you know, little funny little box at first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now we look at it like, okay, they have some, you know, some nicer cars, but I'll leave it everything with this last question. You being in the nightclubs, which like, man, I know your life totally changed with COVID and everything, dude. You now, like, man, you're a vampire. Like I know a couple people I was like that. Like, man, they just party after night after night after night. Not that you party at the parties, but just, you know, being in that club environment.
The business.
Night after night. What do you see the progression of social interaction in the next 2 years?
Like I said, it's gonna all be online. You know what I mean? And I think there's gonna be a bigger disconnect. I think there's gonna be a bigger disconnect than people actually realize. You know, when people, a lot of these clubs, people are putting their phone there and they're going live when they're at clubs. You know, when they have these big festivals, you can see these festivals online now. You know, so what makes you want to pay $500 when you could just, you know, see it live on Twitch or whatever? You know, it's like, I ain't gonna go see that. I'm chilling. I'm gonna go watch that at home. Especially this new generation where you have this gaming generation, like maybe our generation that's used to interacting and engaging with people. But this new generation, they're not used to leaving the house.
You know what? I've talked to several of my homeboys that have younger children, and they're kind of like, you know, the whole pandemic thing, it really messed with kids, let's say 9 to 15, 16. Like it really, like I talked to different friends and they're telling me stories on different levels. And I'm like, man, like I had one, but you know, so two of my homeboys that have sons were kind of like, man, they can't really go and hang out with their friends. So they're just playing video games. And like, that's their communicating with, you know what I'm saying? Like
that sounds like heaven to me when I was a kid. I didn't give a damn about my friends. Shoot, if I had that Intel 64 in front of me, I was in heaven. You can tell me nothing. I talk to you on the phone, dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Just imagine that, like that night you were supposed to do the homework and you know you ain't do it, and you had to go to school, and it was like school's canceled. Like, why? Because of COVID. It's like, oh man, it's like, I know that's crazy. Like, yeah, it's my lucky day. And then it'd be like 6 months later, still not in school.
It was fun at first.
Yeah.
Well, no, man, good looking out. You got anybody you want to shout out, Gargamel? Anything you want to promote?
Man, I want to shout out Chromatic, Overgold, and Menaito in the house. Everybody go check out their joint. They play every Sunday at La Cita out there in downtown. They got a dope joint. They're the new wave coming up. Pharcyde family, of course. Chromatic family. Masters at Work family. Chosen Few out there, Chicago. Sire out there in Ethiopia right now.
He in Ethiopia?
Yeah, man. He moved to Ethiopia.
I knew he was a rock star, man. I just knew. He look a little older, man, and all that, man. But he a rock star. He be moving and grooving.
Yeah, he moved to Ethiopia, bro. That's how you know the game changed. When he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna move to Ethiopia." uh, yeah, all my fam's out there in London, Croatia, New York, Chicago, all across the world, man. I mean, and all my real family, you know, my family members, moms, dukes, uh, pops, my Playboy Nick out there. Everybody who follows me online and all my peoples who tunes into the live and whatnot. And much love to Greg, bro.
Oh, good looking. Where can they catch your live at?
On I go lives. I go live on my Instagram 3 times a week. On Wednesday, I do this thing called Code of the Streets where I do all my hip hop turntable stuff. And I do that at 7, 8 o'clock. Thursday, I do this thing called the late night hype from 11 to like 3 in the morning. So that's all my late night joints. And I play house music. And then Friday, I do Friday flashbacks. So that's all flashback joints anywhere from 70s, 80s, and 90s, and you know, and anything flashback. And I do that about 10 o'clock, you know, and unless I got a gig or whatnot. And yeah, man, and just respect to everybody, you know, all the comrades and all the players, all the hustlers.
Hey.
You know, yeah, I mean, all the dime pieces out there, you know what I mean? You know, so all the beautiful people all across the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you, Jeremy, man, you've been out there, man, hella working, man, putting it down. What you got? Anything you want to shout out? Anything you got coming up? Something we need to check out?
Yeah, I'm at this place called Cityscape. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna get an address for you real quick. Cityscape, I think it's in Echo Park. It's an outside venue, COVID safe. Yeah, it should be packed. It's one of the best shows I ever did in LA. And I'm not just saying that. I'm actually lucky to be back on it. I've been on it twice before. But other than that, you just have to check out my schedule. I've been traveling like these. Literally, this week I was in Chicago, Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky. So yeah, it's been
man,
crazy.
you out there, bro?
Yeah.
That's
where I get the bread. That's how I pay my rent. So I had to get out.
Yeah.
But hold on, man. I'm gonna get to. All right, ain't gonna happen fast enough. Anyway, go to my IG. You can find it. It's gonna be dope. That's it. Cityscape. That's what it's called.
Dope. Well, no, man, I want to thank you, Gargamel, for definitely coming in and getting candid with us. And it was cool to have Jeremy back. So that's